Going back to its debut in medieval times, artillery weaponry has drastically altered the notion of what it is possible to do on a battlefield. From turning mighty walls to dust, to reaching remote enemy locations, all the way to defeating far larger forces, artillery fire has been a crucial part of warfare tactics. Still, artillery has always suffered from an inherent inaccuracy issue throughout military history. And although the range and precision of these weapons have increased with the advances in technology, unleashing artillery fire in close proximity to friendly units or civilian infrastructure has always carried a significant risk of collateral damage. However, this persistent problem might soon be a thing of the past, as the groundbreaking M982 Excalibur shell is spearheading a breakthrough in warfare technology that promises to take artillery precision to an astounding 2-meter margin of error. The novel guided projectile is expected to combine the advantages of an artillery barrage with the precision and control of a guided missile system to allow the U.S. military to confidently use artillery in urban scenarios without the fear of friendly fire. If successful, the M982 Excalibur might start a new revolution in artillery technology that could be as significant as the development of the first gunpowder cannon in the 14th century. Indirect fire. Throughout the centuries, most artillery solutions have fallen within the definition of an indirect fire weapon, as they are designed to reach a target without using a direct line of sight. The target is engaged, but it is unable to see the firing entity. The concept goes as far back as the medieval age, when archers used to unleash arrow volleys that disregarded bullseye precision and instead aimed for significant coverage while they could remain behind hulking stone walls, safe from enemy retaliation. Due to the indirect nature of artillery, an inherent degree of inaccuracy is to be expected, and precision has drastically improved as artillery crews have developed more advanced calculation procedures that take into account elevation, range, location, angles, aerial reconnaissance, and terrain data. Still, the wind, the weather conditions, and human error can make conventional artillery shelling significantly imprecise, leading to the use of such weapons mainly for suppressive or area fire, and not for precise strikes. Despite the lack of reliable precision, artillery guns, howitzers, and mortars proved formidable assets as the scale of warfare escalated in the 20th century. Capable of remaining out of sight while delivering a vast blanket of fire to enemy positions quickly, made these weapons an essential part of any military force. But as a new century loomed closer, warfare shifted from the clashing of colossal, well-organized armies to furtive guerrilla skirmishes and urban insurrections. The U.S. soon learned that it was impossible to use traditional artillery solutions against insurgents fighting deep within heavily populated urban areas without risking the lives of countless innocent civilians. And although aerial precision strikes were able to take some of the load off artillery units, not all scenarios are suitable for airstrikes, and artillery fire continues to be vital for U.S. operations despite the emergence of drone precision strikes. Thus, an artillery solution for the 21st century was needed. The Excalibur shell. The concept for the Excalibur shell began in the early 1990s. The U.S. military had initially requisitioned the development of an unguided munition with an increased range of $4,000 per round. Still, as the nature of warfare changed, the U.S. decreased the number of munitions from 200,000 to a little more than 60,000. Texas Instruments was awarded the contract in January of 1998. Because of the loss of interest that the U.S. military was showing in unguided shells, they became intrigued with the idea of developing a guided solution, partly inspired by the Indian experience of using Russian Krasnopol guided shells against Pakistani bunkers in the Kargil War of 1999. Then, in March of 2004, the project was merged as a Swedish and U.S. program under the name Trajectory Correctable Munitions. By then, the U.S. was pushing for more precise ammunition solutions, so much so that they canceled the development of the dual-purpose improved conventional munition cluster bomb in favor of the discriminating munition variant that would become the Excalibur. As development progressed and the project's scope became apparent, the task was transferred to the Raytheon Corporation in May of 2005, which was tasked with producing an initial amount of 165 shells for $22.1 million. In the fall of that same year, the shell was successfully tested for the first time at Yuma Proving Ground in Arizona. Its performance exceeded all expectations, and Raytheon was eventually awarded a $42.7 million contract to produce 335 Excalibur shells. Ready to go. In 2006, the engineering team stumbled with problems regarding the environmental sensitivity of the device's GPS system, which pushed the deployment date to spring 2007. Testing of the final product continued to show remarkable performance, as the novel shell displayed an average circular error probability of fewer than 5 meters. In short, the guided shell margin of error was less than 2.5 meters on average, immediately making it the most precise artillery projectile in the world. After completing all rounds of testing, the U.S. Army approved an urgent material release to immediately deploy the Excalibur to Iraq, where its high precision would prove formidable against insurgents hidden in urban areas. Excalibur became an instant success, managing to hit the target much farther than conventional artillery shells, with a drastically increased accuracy and raw power. Despite there not being official public records of artillery collateral damage in Iraq, such crews and Army personnel have assured that the groundbreaking shell had drastically decreased the cases of civilian injuries and fatalities in the field. Such success led to the U.S. Army ordering an additional 30,000 rounds for 2008, and getting orders from many allies across the world. A new age of artillery. The Excalibur revolutionized artillery and gave U.S. commanders an unprecedented, mobile, and locally available precision weapon that, unlike airstrikes, could do its task regardless of weather conditions. Additionally, the round is cheaper than airdrop solutions and can be launched by any howitzer used by the U.S. Army. Accuracy soon became the norm for indirect fire guns. The risks of friendly fire casualties and collateral damage drastically dropped, and Army commanders are now able to confidentially call down artillery fire as close as 160 feet away from friendly positions without the fear of friendly fire. In spectacular proof of its potential, in February of 2012, a U.S. Marine Corps M982 howitzer in Afghanistan fired a single Excalibur round that obliterated an insurgent position at a record range of 22 miles without doing any damage to the nearby civilian homes. Still, however impressive the Excalibur is, it is only the pioneer in the dawn of a new age of artillery fire. A wide array of competing guided shells has emerged since its development, and many of them possess even more range and precision than the Excalibur. It is thus unsurprising that the U.S. military continues to fund ambitious guided rounds. Precision guidance kit modernization systems are currently being developed, and these upgraded kits could cheaply transform a regular howitzer round into a GPS-guided precision projectile like the Excalibur. Meanwhile, there is also a project to build intelligent, self-guiding shells that would be able to hit moving targets with lethal precision. It looks like artillery will move more and more towards guided ammunition fire, as new collateral damage protocols are being implemented by the U.S. Army, giving even more importance to keeping civilian casualties and city infrastructure damage as low as possible. Excalibur and its successors look to be the ideal solutions for such a task. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Dark Tech for more warfare technology content. Also, look for our other Dark Documentaries channels, where we publish exciting history-inspired videos every day. Stay tuned.